You're listening to the Mopcast Network.
Welcome to My Star Wars Life, a look at news, reviews, and other happenings from a galaxy far, far away. Here are your hosts, Scotty and JD.
Welcome to My Star Wars Life, Season 2, Episode 2. This is a show that we take a look at all the things that are happening in Star Wars and how it relates to everything that we do. So, My Star Wars Life. Really easy, simple title, right? I'm your Native American pop culture spirit guide, Scotty, and we're having kind of a throwback-ish episode. So, if you guys remember years ago that one of the first Star Wars shows I had was Rebellion, a Star Wars Rebels podcast, when we went through each week examining every episode of Rebels, which was very, very fun. It's kind of how we got started in Star Wars podcasting. And, well, I am visiting West Virginia, where the Mopcast Network started. And on my vacation, I ran into my good friend and buddy, Carter Maynard. What's up, Carter?
Hello.
Welcome back to the podcast.
I'm glad to be back on the podcast.
Yay.
Yes.
So glad to have you, buddy. So glad to be. How you been?
I'm good. I'm good.
Hasn't been a crazy year for Star Wars. I'm like
it has been
like a crazy season right now for Star Wars.
I'm just gonna say it's been a crazy week for Star Wars.
That's true. I'll give you that.
I mean, the Mandalorian, Fallen Order,
Which you've got to play, which I have not, but you got to play. So
yes, I've played about 30 minutes of
good.
Fallen
We're going to talk
Order
about that today. And then, of course, we got The Rise of Skywalker coming just right around the corner.
Yeah.
And
oh my God, that's next month.
Right. It's literally just right around the corner.
Yeah.
And so, and then and then in February we get Clone Wars, and it's just Star Wars is.
And also we're getting another Star Wars game.
Well, we are.
Yeah, we are.
What are we getting?
We're getting the Lego game.
Oh, that's right.
Which I've been reading is open world.
Oh, that's cool.
And you can travel between times, but wherever you go, you have to play through that story.
Okay.
On that planet.
So it'd be cool if it starts out like that home base area would be like the in between worlds from Rebels.
Yeah.
And you just go from portal to portal. That would be fun.
So it's kind of like and it's gonna have all 9 movies.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Just the movies though?
I don't know.
I would love to see Rebel stuff. I want more Rebel stuff. One of the things that and we talked about this a little bit last night. One of the things I'm excited about Disney Plus. I mean, Disney Plus is great. It really is. And for a non-Star Wars topic, me and Carter watched like 4 episodes of the Muppet Show, the Muppets that was.
Yeah.
It was like the most recent Muppets TV show that ABC had like 5 or 6 years ago, and it didn't do well because it's really out of the box thinking, but the writing is so damn clever.
It is good. It's so good.
We have just laughed and laughed and laughed at that. So I highly recommend. That's a free Disney Plus plug there for non-Star Wars. That Muppets is pretty awesome. But we were talking about one of the best things about Disney Plus is that it is going to introduce a whole new slew of fans to Rebels.
Yes.
Those who listen to this podcast know that Rebels is my favorite Star Wars thing. I like it better than the movies. I like it better than the games. The book. I mean, seriously, it's for when people ask you what's your favorite Star Wars movie, I have to go through like a list of episodes first before I get to like Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
It's like Twilight the Apprentice, Twin Sons, or Siege of Lothal.
Yeah, I mean,
Doom.
Movie-wise, I go straight to Rogue One.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So what is it about Rogue One that you like so much? What is?
I just thought it was very well written.
Because I don't. Well, it's interesting because I've never heard. You're the first person who says, "Oh, one of my favorite Star Wars movies is Rogue One." That's first of all fascinating and awesome. And so the writing.
I just think the writing. It was a very emotional movie. It was great to see the rebels and the Empire in different ways. I don't know. I thought it was like the best written Star Wars movie.
I like it. I like it. I like to call it Orson Krennic's Bad Day. Because it really is. I mean,
it really
you've
is.
got everything that the rebels are trying to do to get the Death Star plans, but it's really just Orson Krennic's just having a terrible, terrible day. This project he's worked on forever gets taken away from him from Tarkin, and he's like, he goes to Darth Vader, who's like, "Can I have it back?" And Vader's like, "I'm gonna choke you," and make a dad joke.
Now, if we're going with like what people would typically call like the original Star Wars movies, like the original trilogy or the prequel trilogy.
Well, now it's just. I think officially now it's called the Skywalker Saga.
Okay. If we're gonna go with the Skywalker Saga, my favorite's gonna be Revenge of the Sith.
All right. Nice.
Yeah.
Revenge of the Sith has some really neat stuff in it. I love when Anakin turns to Vader. And I like when Palpatine sends him to Mustafar to take care of the Separatists.
Yeah.
And, Newt Gunray's last words to him was Lord Sidious promises peace, and he just gets hit with a lightsaber because he got granted peace. Oh, I love it. It's like...
yeah.
And I love Anakin just so full of rage and emotion and staring off into the lava. It's a really... really interesting shot they have of him just and he's crying and he's just all of because that's the Sith are nothing but emotion. And so I know a lot of people are not fans of the prequels, but it's funny because everything turns around in cycles. One of the things I noticed when I went to a celebration this year was there was a lot of love for the prequels that weren't there years ago. Just a ton of love. Ahmed Best was a guest, so Jar Jar was the best, and Jar Jar Ahmed Best had a really rough time with being Jar Jar. After all the backlash for Jar Jar really affected him as a person. I mean, he had there was a fan backlash against him, not the character. I mean, he contemplated suicide. He had some dark times. And so this year that all came out and he talked about it, and so the fandom I think there's a pool of toxicity in it right now, but I don't think it's very, very large. I think they're very loud, but I don't think they're very large. But even as toxic as it can get, I mean, the fans open their arms and just like welcome back. And I think if Jake Lloyd, who played Anakin, he's had some issues too.
Oh yeah.
And hopefully he's on the path to recovery and stuff. I think for him too. I think he would be welcomed open arms and accepted. We're sorry. Let's hug it out.
Yeah.
With all the issues with episode 3, there are some just beautiful shots in it. There's just some great stuff in it. I really my problem with all 3 of the prequels though is the dialogue's always clunky. George Lucas is not the best. George Lucas has never been the best dialogue. Even like
he's just like robot emotions.
Right. Look at A New Hope. Even it's not the.
Well, I mean, it's that like Mark Hamill going to him after the audition and being like, people don't actually say stuff like this.
Oh, I think Harrison said that. I think that's a story that Mark Hamill says about Harrison Ford, but he does that at Harrison Ford. George, you don't go in and people don't really talk like this. Which sounds more like Sling Blade, but French fried Java. And so, for me, like I said, Rebels is my favorites in the world. And if I gotta go movies, my first and foremost love has always been Empire Strikes Back. I remember being I remember being small. Like, so it came in the 80s. I was when Empire came out, I was 2. And I would turn 3 that year.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember distinctively watching the TV commercials of it.
Yeah.
And being mesmerized by the large AT-AT walkers and just was, that Christmas I got an AT-AT. And I just, to me, I because of that, my youth and that connection to it. And so, and I like all the creatures. Cloud City for me is amazing. I just love, living around the Star Wars universe.
I hate admitting this, but growing up, I think I was 8 or 9 when Episode 1 came out. No, I was 7. I was 7 when Episode 1 came out.
I was 18.
And my family took me to see it 8 times because I loved it that much.
Well, that's cool. See, that's what you're supposed to do.
Because it was like there was like a $2 movie theater in our neighborhood, and so they just kept taking me to see it.
We saw a lot. So I'm way older than you now, but so I was almost 20 when it came out, and I was dating a girl who would be my wife eventually, and eventually be my ex-wife. But I remember we dressed up to go see the premiere and where we lived, and she's an artist, and so she painted herself like Darth Maul, so she cosplayed as Darth Maul.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, she was cosplaying for it. It was cool.
Yeah.
And then I just bought her a black robe and went to Sidious because I was like, I don't want to put anything on, so I'll just be this guy. And so we went and watched it then. And we saw it. We did the midnight showing, and then we did 1 or 2 showings the next day. And then we seen it a few times. We didn't see it 8 times, but we saw it.
Yeah.
We saw it a few times in the theaters. But I did when I moved to West Virginia, the first year I was here.
Yeah.
They put it out in 3D, episode 1 in 3D.
I remember that.
Because they were planning on doing all of them.
Yeah.
And they only did the first one.
Yep.
And so I saw it here in Charleston in 3D at, what's the theater by the mall?
Park Place.
I saw it at Park Place.
I can't
Shout out
remember.
to Park Place.
Yeah, I can't remember where I saw it, but I do remember seeing it in 3D, and that was kind of cool.
That's awesome. Duel of the Fates in 3D is pretty sweet. So
Duel of the Fates at any point.
Duel of Fates is the best lightsaber fight in Star Wars. There's not been one better.
No.
Someone needs to top it. It's been a while. I think
Yeah.
you aspire to getting higher in Duel of the Fates, and like for me it goes from Duel of the Fates and then it goes to Ahsoka Vader.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's nothing like having Ahsoka just jump on Vader's back and slice his face. It's just like, wow, that's iconic and epic. That whole episode's good because it's like when Vader shows up flying in on. And for those who haven't seen Rebels yet, spoiler alert: this is the season 2 finale, and Vader's on Malachor, and when he shows up, he is riding his TIE fighter. He's on top of his TIE fighter, cape, waving in the wind, and he's just. And they're underground, so there shouldn't be any wind. And he's just like, I'm going to use the Force and be baller, and just kind of floats down. And he goes to fight Ezra, and Ezra's like, I'm not afraid of you. And he replies with, you will die braver than most. It's just some of the best lines ever.
Another one from the animated series, duel-wise, that I really love was Maul and Savage versus Palpatine.
Oh yeah, that's one of the best ones too. That's in the top 5.
Yeah, that one
totally in the top 5.
I love that one.
Oh yeah, it's because watching Palpatine just kind of just
go off
and giggle. He laughs the whole time.
Yeah,
because again, Sith is emotion, so
yeah,
he's channeling that through laughter. That's why he laughs. It's like he's having a ball, just whooping up on some Knight brothers there. And I dig it. It's so good. It's so good. I don't think other good lightsaber. I need to do a whole episode where we just talk. It's like top 10 lightsaber fights. I think I need to do that.
I'd be down. Yeah,
I think we do. I need to do a top 10 lightsaber fight. I gotta add that to the list.
That's an absolute must.
That's the whole episode. So, all right, moving on because I won't spoil that. I'll save that for an episode. So, thank you, Disney Plus, for bringing us The Mandalorian.
Yes, thank you so much.
So, last week you guys heard me and JD talk about at our first live episode when we brought back. We had just saw season 1, episode 1 of The Mandalorian live. We had a live audience for it. So now, and so second episode here, Carter and I have just 10 minutes ago finished the second episode, and wow, it gets better.
It does.
It just gets so much better, and it's good in the first place, and it's just, Star Wars is expanding its lore. I don't think The Mandalorian is doing an overreach. I think it's just a slow crawl build, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
And there's more Baby Yoda, and Baby Yoda is
life.
Oh, it's so adorable.
Oh my God.
It's so adorable. I'm so in love with Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda has to be in all of the Mandalorian. I want him to be the Mandalorian's sidekick.
Well, it looks to me, I mean, especially this episode, there's a lot of shots and stuff that are set up like the old Lone Wolf and Cubs comic and movie and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks really like Lone Wolf and Cub, and I'm like, if Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, that's what they want to do, I'm all in. I'm all in with Mandalorian and Yoda, and whatever we're going to call Yoda, but right now it's Baby Yoda. And it's not a Yoda. We don't know. We don't know what his race is. So.
Baby Yoda do Baby Yoda do.
That's going to be a thing. We won't create it, but it'll be out there. It will totally be out there. I'm doing my research as we do because the episode's so fresh. It is so fresh. Get my episode.
Disintegrating Jawas.
Oh man, just see let's talk about that. So, in this episode features Jawas, and they're not on Tatooine. And my entire life, Star Wars is older than I am. My entire life, I have been told that Jawas were indigenous to Tatooine, that sandcrawlers were sent to Tatooine before for mining. It wasn't terraforming; they were mining, and the mining project ended or was abandoned, and so they just left the sandcrawlers, and the Jawas took them over. And the Jawas, each sandcrawler has a different clan in them or family that runs it. And now we're on this other planet, and then there's a sandcrawler and Jawas, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, that is awesome. And now I'm like, so are now Jawas indigenous somewhere else, and are sandcrawlers a whole different thing, or
Jawas are immigrating,
or did the Jawas immigrate, which is even more interesting because not only do you have to, you have to have the Jawa who goes, all right, I'm done with Tatooine. Let's take our clan somewhere. So you got to also find a ship big enough to hold your sandcrawler and find a place to go. And it's just like, I kind of want that story.
Yeah.
I mean, give me a book or a comic or something just to kind of fill in that gap because I'm all in on that. I love Jawas anyway, so I'm just all in on that. And
and Mandalorians and Jawas do not mix well.
That's true.
Flamethrower.
Well,
in your face.
So let's dive into it. So the episode starts with the Mandalorian and the Yoda baby walking along the desert, and they're attacked by Trandoshans.
Yep.
And so.
Which had trackers.
So not only did the IG unit have a tracker, there are more than one interested party. So I don't know if they're all from the Empire or other people know about.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew in the last episode that there were hunters. There's a list. There's a whole line of hunters that had been killed on the way because Nick Nolte Zugnot was all like, these people don't bring peace to my valley. I have spoken. And so you're going to bring peace, and so go do this. And so the Mandalorian goes and he gets the Baby Yoda that we discover. And so the Trandoshans attack him, and it's really cool to see Trandoshans fight because all we got was in live action we got Bosk.
Yeah. And
Bosk just growled, which was kind of cool, but he didn't do anything. And we finally get to see vibro axes in live action work. Because they moved this time. Because Star Wars has always had since Jedi has always had vibro axes, but they never the top tips never move. They're just static. Now they kind of move and they have a hum and
that was neat.
It was really cool to see. And so, of course, our hero, the Mandalorian, is successful, and so he and the baby Yoda, see little cute things. Is all what this show's about. They head back to their ship, which, the Jawas, sandcrawlers there, and a bunch of Jawas there, and they have just stripped the Razor's Crest, his ship, to near about nothing. And that makes the Mandalorian unhappy, so the Mandalorian goes, he goes shooting a bunch of Jawas. I mean, he disintegrates a bunch of Jawas.
Yeah.
And the Jawas get in the sandcrawler, and they hightail it, and so Mandalorian goes chasing as well as the floating baby carrier that's holding baby Yoda. It flies behind him,
yep.
Which is really... And so Mandalorian goes and attacks the sandcrawler. He climbs on it, and the Jawas are all trying to throw stuff at him and trying to knock him off. They even pulled the Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade maneuver of moving the tank too close to the side of the mountain, the edge of the valley, and
trying to wipe him off.
He's too clever for that. He finally makes his way to the top of the sandcrawler, and when he does, he draws his weapon, and there's a bunch of Jawas who have their weapons out, and then they shoot him and knock him off the platform.
They tase him.
They tase him hard. He wakes up. The Yoda's hanging out with him, and so he goes back to the Ugnaught, and the Ugnaughts all like, well, you got to go trade for your stuff back. And he's like, they stole my stuff, and he goes, it doesn't work that way. I'm gonna take you over there. I've spoken.
I've spoken.
The baby Yoda's running around being cute. He eats a
frog.
Eats a frog. I mean, just the frog is big as he is, and he just gobbles that sucker down. So it's interesting. So now see what Yoda's eat besides weird soup. Because I don't remember in the Clone Wars if he ate anything in the cartoon.
I don't think so. And
so this is the first time we've really seen them eat, and that's kind of cool. And I like the fact that the frog was just as big as him. I mean, he just ate that for you.
I just love the Mandalorians like spit that out, and he just swallows it.
He just eats it just like Jabba would. It was awesome. So the next morning they go. Ugnaught takes the Mando and Yoda to the Jawas. It is uncomfortable at first because there's lots of weapons. And after convincing the Mandalorian to disarm, which was hard for him because weapons are his religion, which was a great line. They have this discussion about what they can trade. Of course, the Jawas want his armor. He's not trading his armor.
Nope.
So they decided they want him to go get. They have a task for him. If he'll do a task, they'll trade
egg.
And so they want this egg. So he has to go get this egg. So him and the baby go off to go get this egg, which is in a cave protected by a monster. I guess the mother of the egg looks like a rhinoceros with a horn. It kind of looks like a reek from episode 2. We've looked on right now, and so I think the episode's so fresh we don't have a name for this creature yet.
Yeah, I don't know.
So hopefully by episode 3, somebody of the Mandalorian will figure out what is this thing called, because at the moment we do not know. So we'll just call it
ugly mud monster.
Ugly monster, reek-like. And it's big, it's massive. It's like a giant rhino, and it whoops up on the Mandalorian pretty hard. I mean, it knocks him out of the cave, and when you see him when he gets knocked out of the cave, his chest piece is sparking and broken, and
he's not having a good day.
He's not having a good day. His gun jams.
Yeah,
the thing kind of moves him around. It sees the carrier and goes after the carrier, and luckily the Mandalorian has some kind of gizmo in his arm to
he has a remote control for the baby carrier.
For the baby carrier, so it moves around. It picks him up, it throws him. He hits it with a flamethrower. He tries to rope it with his grappling arm, and that doesn't all work. And then it starts charging for him. He's wounded. He's like his knees, and
he pulls his knife.
The last weapon is, to me, it's like the last weapon he's gotten. It's just a knife. It's like his boot knife.
Yeah.
And he rushes into the boot knife, and then we kind of cut to Yoda, who is standing in his little baby carriage, and his arm's out, and so he's obviously reaching out to the Force. So the baby's clearly Force sensitive, and knows how to use it somehow. And not somehow. I know why the baby knows how to use the Force. I don't know why I said somehow. I'm smarter than that. For those who don't remember, the Force sometimes works through you. It obeys your commands, or it dictates your actions. It does both.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Obi-Wan. Everyone forgets that. That's one of the Rey controversies. How come Rey knows everything? Well, go back and watch episode 4. You'll figure it out. So the Yoda reaches out to the Force and picks up the monster, and it floats.
Yep. And then it drops it.
And then drops it. The Yoda passes out, and the Mandalorian stabs him once with that awesome little knife and kills it. He goes back and gets the egg, which is fuzzy. It's like a little. It's like if a Wookiee laid an egg, right?
Yeah. It was very weird.
It's like a mutant coconut.
Yeah.
It's
still a little. Yeah. It was.
It's like a mutant coconut, right? And the Mandalorian and the baby head back to the Jawas, who are about to leave, but he shows up in time, and he's like, "I got the egg," and they take the egg and crack it open and eat it, and they're all happy. And it's like,
That's it.
And so he gets the parts. They don't have a maintenance station to fix it, but luckily, the Mandalorian's buddy is an Ugnaught, and Ugnaught's really good at engineering.
Yep.
That's why they were on Cloud City. And so the Mandalorian complains about how long it's going to take, and the Ugnaught's like, well, it would be faster if you help me. And so they two put the ship back together.
Yep.
Mandalorian offers to pay the Ugnaught. The Ugnaught says no.
You are my friend. I have spoken.
No, you're my guest.
You are my guest.
You're my guest. I owe you my hospitality. So
you have brought peace to my valley.
They brought peace to his valley, and then Mandalorian offered him a job, and the Ugnaught was like, I have worked too long to have my solitude, my freedom from servitude, and so he declines. But he said he was honored, and then they wish each other well, and the Mandalorian heads off into space.
Yep. With the baby.
And with the baby who wakes up and is still cute. And now we wait for episode 3.
And it's so far away.
Yeah, next Friday, right? A week from today.
I think it's like. Wait a second. I posted the.
I think
the
they're
schedule.
I think they're every Friday except the ones that are on Wednesday, unless they're every Wednesday except the ones that are the 2 that are on Friday. I can't. It's one way or the other. I haven't looked at it in a while. And by the time this episode aired, 3 will be out, but.
Chapter 3, Friday, November 22nd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next Friday.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, that's so good. I really like this expansion of the universe. I really like seeing this. I really like, we get to see the inside of a sandcrawler for the first time, like, the cockpit of a sandcrawler, and that's cool. I like how their communication systems works like old boats.
Yeah.
Old ships where the kind of the horn mics that they speak into. That was pretty awesome. It's just such a cool aesthetic and just a wonderful design. I'm thoroughly excited about it. I would love to speculate what's coming next. What would you like to see coming in? There's 6 episodes left.
Yeah.
What would you like to see?
I don't think he's gonna give the baby over.
I don't think so either. I think Mandalorian's why he's a bounty hunter and everything, but I think there's some weird honor stuff going on there. I don't see him giving up the child, and I think that's part of it. It's going to be the Giancarlo Esposito, who's from Breaking Bad and Once Upon a Time and a whole bunch of other stuff. He was in an episode of Creepshow I just watched on Shudder, which is amazing. He's playing some sort of Imperial, so I think that's where the disconnect. Well, the Imperials are going to look. I think they're going to send him after the Mandalorian. That's kind of what the trailer looks like. But so I love the trailer speculation beforehand. So because so far everybody was wrong because no one saw the Yoda thing coming.
Yeah,
that was almost like Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni was in the writer's room going, "What's the weirdest thing that we could do?"
Yep.
Baby Yoda. And so I would love to know the evolution of how that happened. I think that would be speculating would just be amazing.
I want to know if IG-11 comes back.
I would imagine because when the Mandalorian sees him, he says the first thing he says to him was IG unit stand down. So he called him a unit, which means there's got to be more than one. Yeah. And so and when he first looked at it and saw it, he called him a bounty hunter droid. So maybe there's a bunch of them. Maybe. So that gives Tadiwaki, what was it? Tadiwaki. I can't say his name.
Him. That dude.
Now if I read it, I can find it.
Taika Waititi.
Yeah, there we go. That gives him more stuff to voice. And of course he's directing too, so. Yeah. So
him, Bryce Dallas Howard who is Bae.
She is Bae.
She is Bae.
Yeah. I didn't know you were a fan.
Oh yeah, I love her.
Let's see. Today's episode was directed by
somebody that I can't remember.
Mandalorian episode 2 was directed by Rick Fumiyawa, who he's directed some cool stuff. He did Dope, which he was a producer on Dope. Ratopa's really good. He's supposed to do the Black Hole remake. That's cool. He did The Wood and Our Family Wedding. The Wood is really good.
Mm-hmm.
And he also directed Dope. That's cool. Sweet. He's directed 2 episodes of Mandalorian, so it's gonna be cool. I'm looking so much forward to it.
I mean, I'm in Star Wars 7th Heaven right now. Between this and Fallen Order and just everything, I'm super excited.
Me too. I am. I just can't wait to see more episodes of The Mandalorian. I knew I'd like it. I knew walking in I would like this show, but my only complaint is that it's just short. They're very short episodes.
Yeah, I mean, when I turned it on this morning, I was like, 32 minutes? What are you talking about?
Right, it's quick.
Yeah.
And so, especially now in the age of streaming, we're so used to an hour.
Yeah.
But it's worth it. It's so worth it. It's so worth. I just gives me hopes for the Obi-Wan series, which I was not excited about.
Yeah. I mean, you know me, I'm super excited for the Obi-Wan series.
Right, because you're an Obi-Wan fan.
Yeah,
you're rocking an Obi-Wan beard right now.
I mean, kind of. And I have my hood up.
Right, you could totally cosplay Obi-Wan. You should totally do that.
Bald Obi-Wan.
Just wear a wig, you'll be fine.
Yeah. But no.
You get like the mullet like you had in
oh God.
episode 3.
No, that was 2.
Is it 2 you had the mullet?
Yeah, it was 2.
2. Yeah, you could totally rock that.
Yeah. And in 3 he had like the side.
Yeah,
swoop.
the coif. Yeah.
Yeah, the coif.
Yeah. It's just talking hair of Star Wars with Carter and Scotty.
But no, like I'm excited to see what they do with it. It'll be interesting.
So I wasn't excited about Obi-Wan because I had thought foolishly that we had all of Obi-Wan's story. Because I'm old school thinking. I'm going through old school thinking because
They can always make up more.
They can, but to me, a lot of it doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah.
So, and the joke I had made when they announced it, before they were when they were announcing, talking about the movies,
yeah,
they wanted to do movies. I was like, I don't want a show or a movie about an old creepy wizard spying on on a boy for 18 years. Just what you doing? I'm still watching that boy.
Honestly, like I was kind of hoping it was going to be like a Clone Wars, like Obi-Wan during the Clone Wars type thing.
But we have that, so
yeah. But I mean, there's always like other stuff that you can do with the Clone Wars.
See, my issue is like, will Obi-Wan leave Tatooine? Or will the whole thing happen on Tatooine? Tatooine's a big planet.
It had better. I'm gonna say that it had better all be on Tatooine.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't think he'll leave it for a little bit?
No.
You think his oath will keep him on Tatooine?
He had better stay on Tatooine.
See, I'm interested to find out that's what it's going to. It's a Star Wars movie. I don't think it's going to stay in one place.
Yeah.
We'll have to see space, and we'll have to go. I mean, I think so. I think that's. And then Obi-Wan's got to figure out how to stay hidden because Vader doesn't know he's alive until episode 4.
Yeah.
And so he can't get too much into.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's why he's been Kenobi. I mean,
now, would you be super happy if Ahsoka made an appearance in the series?
I don't know. I mean, look, I'm not an Ahsoka fanboy, and I like Ahsoka, and I didn't like Ahsoka until Rebels, and but I hadn't seen much Clone Wars, and so I saw the Clone Wars movie, and when she shows up and calls him Sky Guy, I was immediately just I was like, I'm not invested in this episode, this prequel stuff anyway, and you just took me out of it. I was just like, and then Rhoda Hutt, Stinky and Punky Muffin, and just I was like,
yeah,
I'm not in, and so Rebels kind of got me back in, and then Ahsoka showed up, and so I kind of went back and started learning about Ahsoka. And Ahsoka's cool. I would love a live action Ahsoka.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I want her. And
Well, yeah,
Obi-Wan.
and plus, if she ran into Obi-Wan, he'd probably just be like, "Oh yeah, by the way, Darth Vader, that's Anakin."
Right, and so there's no way they can meet because if it happens before Rebels, which it will,
Yeah.
because it has to. Ahsoka's fulcrum
Yeah.
at this time, and she makes no awareness that Obi-Wan's around, and so I mean it's possible, but
Yeah.
I don't know, and especially since if she's not aware of that Obi-Wan, I mean if Vader's Anakin until Rebels,
Yeah.
I mean that revelation happens in the temple, and so yeah, I don't think we're gonna get Ahsoka.
Yeah. I mean, it would be cool, but
I would like to see
probably not.
I'd like to see classic stuff. And then if
Yeah.
we're gonna do Tatooine stuff, I'd love to see Jabba. I'd love to see Jabba doing stuff.
Jabba.
I'd love to see Tusken Raiders do Tusken Raiders. Like I'd like to get kind of more into Tusken Raider
Mm-hmm.
because I've always liked the Sand People. And I always just thought they were cool. They look.
They are cool.
They look cool. They raid banthas and then I mean they just look neat.
I loved in the old Star Wars Battlefront 2 the level where you could place the Sand People versus Jawas.
Right.
That was always fun.
Did you ever play the Star Wars fighting game?
Yes.
The one that was for PlayStation.
Yeah.
The something Terracotta, something.
Yeah.
Where the martial arts is.
Yeah.
That Kira knows, so they made it canon. Made me happy. It's like in the first episode of the Mandalorian, they were like Life Day, and I'm like, Life Day's now canon. Yay!
Life Day.
Every on the net was all like, they should Star Wars bathrooms. I'm like, we actually kind of saw Star Wars bathrooms in Rebels, but we never saw like a toilet. We finally see a Star Wars toilet. They're excited about that, and I'm like,
Yep.
but I'm more excited about Life Day. Life Day.
Oh god.
If you can't make the holiday special canon, you just make pieces of it, and it's like that's what Filoni does. He just makes pieces of it.
Yeah.
It's like
the pieces that make people happy.
right. Oh look, we like Thrawn. Let's bring Thrawn back. So
Yeah. And like the Clone Commandos. I mean, like they were not canon. They were just from a video game.
Right.
Until he put them in the Clone Wars, and then it's like, yes, they're canon.
I was trying to think what else would be. Oh, so the fighting game, there was a you could play Tusken Raider in that. His name was Hor, Hoar. Poorly named. Hor. There's a Gamorrean too named Fuck, but you could play. It's like Hor versus Luke Skywalker. Hor versus Mara Jade. Poor Mara Jade.
She's lived a rough life.
Yeah, and now she no longer exists, and so
Yeah. Sorry. Disney decided you are not the...
no, Disney didn't. Now let's be fair. Okay, so
yeah.
all right, so let's clear this misconception up. All right, Disney has some influence over their property. 100%. They are the parent company, but Marvel and Lucasfilm are separate entities.
Yeah.
And so they make a lot of their own decisions.
Yeah.
And so when the changeover happened, part of the decision was to let's clean this. It's a mess. It was a mess.
It really was a
because
mess.
it was unregulated. It was
Yeah.
like, writers could write whatever they want to, and Lucas didn't really care. He just cashed in the checks, and it just made this universe so convoluted. It was just crazy.
Yeah, and there were so many like things that didn't mix and just didn't make sense.
Right.
Yeah.
And like there's a lot of stuff to it that just contradictory, and so what they did, the smartest thing I thought was so let's just take all this expanded universe stuff and call it Legends, and exactly what it is. So it's the legend of Luke Skywalker and Dark Empire, or the legend of the Splinter of the Mind's Eye. Those things,
Yeah.
they're just stories that are told because they are stories that are told. So it makes sense. So you take your core, you take your films, the things you want in canon.
Yeah.
The shows, the films, books starting at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You have a story group who kind of guides everything going forward. So you've got these guys who are, like Paulo Hidalgo and Matt Martin, who are part of this team. That's and Carrie Beck, who was, all part of this team, who's gatekeepers who have enough Star Wars knowledge to find out what works and what doesn't.
Yeah.
And then going forward, we've got a streamlined system, so everything kind of meshes, which is great. So it's now one continuous story, and we now know it's all canon. And the great thing about Legends is they're Legends. So if you need to pull something out of Legends to bring it in canon, you've got a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, Filoni, when he brought in Thrawn, they wanted an Imperial character to focus on being a real thorn in the Spectre's side, the rebellion side.
Yeah.
And so, he said he could create a guy for that, or let's see who we have. And they looked and they had Thrawn. And first of all, they knew the fans would like it. But B, he would serve a real purpose.
Yeah.
And it was not just putting him for fan service. There's a job for him to do. He can do it. He's already created. We don't have to create a guy.
Yeah.
And so the smart thing they also did was they went to Timothy Zahn and got Timothy Zahn's input on all of it, because they had to shape things out of Legends and into canon. So, the thing, one of the things I know got dropped was that he had that force eating lizard.
Oh yeah.
Well, Lucas firmly believes that can't be a thing. Because the Force comes from everything, especially living creatures.
Yeah.
And
if you don't have the Force, you're dead.
Right. You don't have, and so if you eat the Force, you can't. It's too contradictory.
Yeah.
So they got rid of it. Makes logic. I'm all with it. I'm all in it. So I just hope we don't get used on Vong. I hope we don't get used on Vong. I'm not a big fan of Legend Star Wars books.
I'm a fan of some Star Wars books, but
a lot of them are just dull. I just couldn't get into a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I tried on a few times, and I just couldn't. But they are happier than what we got in the sequel trilogy. My biggest complaint in the sequel trilogy is that after Return of the Jedi, no one's happy.
Yeah.
We come back to it's all just sad, and that hurts. As an adult, I'm like, oh man, it doesn't get any better. It just gets worse. Y'all lied to me when I was 6.
It's Kylo Ren.
Oh,
We're all Kylo Ren.
So tell me about Fallen Order.
Fallen Order. I just finished the first mission. Which is kind of like the introductory, like, this is how the game works.
Did you get to use your orange lightsaber?
I did not get to use my orange lightsaber.
Well, that's not... You should be, right?
I pre-ordered it, and I'm like, where's...
What the hell, EA?
I'm like, how do I... Like, where's my orange lightsaber? So I still need to figure out how to get my orange lightsaber. But... It was good. It feels very Assassin's Creed-esque.
Okay.
Because
I can dig that.
There's a lot of climbing around and running.
That's cool.
And then, like, there was this whole sequence on a train, and basically you have to fight your way through the train against, like, all these different stormtroopers, and then stormtroopers come up beside on, like, ships and shoot at you, and you have to, like, reflect the blasts and, like, kill them with their blaster fire. So there's, like, different buttons to press to do different things with your lightsaber.
Okay, that's cool. That's
so it's like, if they shoot at you, you can either dodge the blast, or you can reflect it back at them and take them out that way. And then when it comes to, like, actual, like, hand-to-hand combat, because at the end of the mission, you fight the second sister, and that was not fun.
Well, she is an Inquisitor.
Yeah. And so it's like teaching you, like, how to do this stuff, and it's like you can dodge when they do a power attack, or you can block, or, like, there are just so many options, and it's gonna, like, there's gonna be a learning curve with what you can and can't do, and how to just stay alive, because I died a lot. I'll be honest, I died a lot.
Well, that's what it's there for, so you can learn. That's
Yeah. Well, and I also started playing the campaign on Star Wars Battlefront 2 last night.
which I introduced to you because
you did.
You had not played it, so when we played a little bit over here.
Yeah, so I've been playing that, and I have a feeling that I'm not going to be productive at all on my days off because all I'm going to be doing is playing the campaign for Battlefront 2 and playing Fallen Order.
I played the first campaign for Battlefront 2 when it came out. I really liked it. I need to go back and play it and I didn't. There's a second one. I think there's a third one coming out, and or out. I'm not sure. 'Cause I haven't played Battlefront 2 in a while. Like when I fired it up when you were over yesterday, it was like the first time probably in like 3 months that I fired it up.
And it's not easy.
No, but it's fun, and I like. It's a good story, and all the story mode stuff is really, really interesting.
Yeah,
and so it's like all the cutscenes are great.
Yeah. Oh, the cutscenes in Fallen Order are great. It is a beautiful game.
Oh, that's cool.
Because like you're in this ship scrapyard is where you start, because like you're in hiding, you're a scrapper, and you're just working on all this kind of stuff. And like they one of the characters says something about, oh, they're bringing in like a separatist ship, and like way off in the distance you see them bringing in like a Trade Federation, like one of the big circular ships.
Oh, like a droid control ship?
Yeah, a droid control ship. Like
cool.
They're like lowering it like down, and it's just like it looks massive.
Oh, that's cool.
And so it's really neat and very pretty. So.
Oh wow, I can't. I pre-ordered it, but I'm on vacation up here in West Virginia, and it's at my house now, or today. I think it gets the mail runs today, so this is on a Friday we record. And so it should be here. So I get to see it Sunday when I get home. I'll play it. I'm off Monday, so I'll play it all day Monday.
Oh yeah, I mean it was just like it's so much fun, and it's fun to just like go at stormtroopers.
Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait.
And then you get the stormtroopers that they have like the shock batons, so you get to do hand-to-hand combat with them, and yeah, it's fun. So much fun.
Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait. It looked great. I pre-ordered it very early. I saw the first footage at Celebration and just fell in love with it. It reminds me of Star Wars: A New Dawn, though. That's my only. I was like, it's similar to that, which is the Rebels novel.
Yeah,
and it starts out that novel is basically how Kanan and Hera meet.
Mm-hmm.
And when we first see Kanan, he's on this mining planet, and he's low key. He's just working, doing his thing, and then he hops from planet to planet when the Force gets in the way, because he doesn't really. I mean, he's a Padawan survivor too, and he's trained somewhat, but not fully, and he's kind of put that behind because he's in hiding.
Yeah.
But the Force being the Force, it does. He tends to do good, tries to help, and sometimes even accidentally. And so when things get hairy, he would move from planet to planet to find new work. And this is how he ends up meeting Hera. It's a really good. I recommend it. I listened to the audiobook and really, really dug it.
Yeah, this the one thing that I didn't really dig about the opening was just like how like I thought that he would hide more. And it's just like first 5 minutes of gameplay, something happens, and then it's like, whoop, yep, I'm the Jedi. Like,
focus your fire on the Jedi.
Yeah, and so just everybody starts coming after him. So
I can't wait to play it. Like I said, it'll be Monday, so we'll have a full report on it after I get my hands on it. We may do some live plays on the YouTube. We'll see.
That'd be fun.
I do have a Twitch account that I've never used, so
you should start using that.
I should. I've had a Twitch account for a very long time. I've never used it. Maybe when I get my offices, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, and that's my whole thing is like, I like watching people on Twitch that aren't like perfect gamers.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm a terrible gamer.
Me too.
I'm horrible. Just like playing. Yeah. There was a time in my life I thought I was a good gamer, and then I come back to it, I was like, I don't know what gaming is at all. I used to be really good at Mortal Kombat, and I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing. By the way, going back to the Star Wars fighting game, we need a new Star Wars fighting game.
We do.
I really want a Star Wars fighting game. I just the closest thing we got right now is Heroes versus Villains on Battlefront 2, which is okay.
Yeah.
But I want to,
well,
old school style.
And playing Fallen Order, I was like, this is how lightsaber combat should be.
That's cool because I'm looking for that. It's clunky in Battlefront 2.
It's very clunky in Battlefront 2. And
I mean, the closest I've seen to good lightsaber combat would have been Force Unleashed.
Yeah.
With Starkiller.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is legitimately, out of every video game I've ever seen, this is the best lightsaber because it looks like you're dueling.
Okay, cool.
And I'm just like, yes, this is what we need more of.
That's very cool. Yeah, I can't wait to get my hands on it. It's gonna be a couple days, but I'll get
I just want to know where my orange lightsaber
So
is.
do me a favor. We'll have to get you to record like an update for us.
Oh,
And
okay.
send it to us, and I'll put it on that. I'll put it on a future episode. Where it's like, hey, this is how Carter got his orange lightsaber. He got his orange lightsaber.
Yes.
The orange lightsaber update. I would love to have it.
Orange lightsaber update.
Yeah.
I'll do that today.
Yeah, send me an orange, and we'll put it in a future episode. I think that'd be awesome. This is Carter Maynard with the orange lightsaber update. I dig it.
And then I'll switch back and forth, and we'll have the orange and blue lightsaber update. Which one is better?
So,
They do the exact same thing.
They do the exact thing. That was true. When I played Knights of the Republic, I used yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Was mine because I'm colorblind, so it's gonna be blue or yellow for me anyway. Also, Michigan fan, go blue. And I'm trying to think what. And then Force Unleashed, I was excited to get the black lightsaber, but they make you get it at the end.
Yeah.
And then you make you go play the game with it again with the black lightsaber, which is fine. But I'm just like,
Yeah.
I just want the black light. I just want to run with the dark saber.
One thing there's one problem that I kind of have with Fallen Order, and it's the size of his hilt.
Is it? How big is it?
It's
How big's this hilt, baby?
I know it sounds really bad, but like it looks like it's the size of like his forearm.
So it's almost like a Temple Guardian sword
Yes.
saber,
Yeah.
except not double bladed.
Yeah.
Oh.
It looks like Darth Maul's,
Oh wow,
but with just one blade.
wow! How are you gonna keep that thing hidden?
I know, and it's like it was really funny because I'm like. I was playing the intro, and I'm like, he doesn't have his lightsaber on it. And I thought he was going to discover a lightsaber. And then, like, the bad guys show up, and he's, like, kind of, like, turned to the side a little bit. I'm like, where did you have that hidden? Like, how? That thing's really, like, kind of big.
He had it shoved up somewhere to make him part of his spine, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
So is it he just has a lightsaber? No, anything else?
At some point, you're supposed to get a droid.
So he doesn't have the droid yet. I know the droid looks pretty sweet though.
Yeah. No droid yet. I kind of have a complaint about that because Iden in Battlefront 2, she's got a droid.
Yeah, her droid's pretty sweet.
I love her droid. But I'm like, why is it like every character has like this droid that just hacks them into stuff? So
Because if for interesting gameplay, you gotta have puzzles and stuff. And
Yeah.
so, do you want the Jedi to be able to do that, or you have something or Iden do that? At least you got it. And that's what droids are for. I mean, they're tools to do that kind of stuff.
yeah,
So that makes sense to me.
yeah,
I like them because they fly, and the Idens fly. I mean, it's like the Seven Sisters. It's the next model up from the Seven Sisters droids. And so when we first saw the Seven Sisters and those droids, I was like, I'm so happy. Good aesthetic, and then she's got extra parts. I love it. I love it so much.
yeah.
Well, I look forward to the orange lightsaber update.
It will be coming soon.
All right, so that's about it for this episode. Next week, we're going to talk more Mandalorian, episode 3. We're back with JD, and hopefully a Fallen up. We'll get a orange lightsaber update, hopefully, and
Yep.
then we'll talk. Me and JD will talk about our thoughts about a Fallen Order, And we're getting closer and closer to episode 9. We're just a couple of weeks away. So we may have some stuff on that. And what other interesting Star Wars news that pops up, we will definitely talk about it. So stay tuned for that. If you want to follow us, you just follow us at scottywhite.com or the Facebook page, facebook.com/MyStarWarsLife. And this is Scotty saying, this is our contribution to the multiverse. Go out and make yours. May the Force be with you.
Thank you for listening to the Mopcast Network.